We won the midfield battle last season and we didn't win the game.
To shut up shop, because that's giving too much respect to Tottenham. You know, if Man City get a couple injuries, they ain't changing the way they play.
The point I'm making is this: injury or no injury, we have a job to do on Sunday.
But I also want to see how Havertz plays, where he plays in midfield up front. If Wanyeri gets a start, there's a lot of excitement there for me because there's a lot of unknown. But with these guys, I don't know. I don't trust your manager to be as pragmatic as you guys may want him to be.
Don't be naive and don't be stupid. And I think that's one thing I said I want to see from Spurs this season compared to last season is evolution of those small little kinks in the game.
Yeah,
Arteta's track record of rotating isn't good. That's the one thing I'll say. Like when it's gone into the cups and we've rotated, or we've had a couple key players missing, like the levels have dropped significantly. Welcome back to AFTV. Time for part 2 of the super fan debate. Now, if you want some context from the last video, Tobes is in my shot and Turkish isn't happy about it, so they're going to be having out again in this video about it. But before we go into all of it, let's tell you about the amazing NordVPN, who are giving AFTV viewers an exclusive offer of 4 extra months on a 2-year plan. Just go to nordvpn.com/AFTV to find out more. Now, some stuff you should know about VPN providers: they offer an online threat protection feature, but NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro offers advanced digital protection from malware and online threats by scanning files while they're downloading, and warns you about potentially dangerous websites as well. This is what Mikel Arteta needs to be using to keep his tactics safe and sound from Spurs as we approach the North London derby this weekend. Now, it's quick and easy to enable, and you can use it on up to 6 different devices at once as well. So head over to nordvpn.com/AFTV or click the link in the description below to get an extra 4 months free on your NordVPN with their brilliant 2-year plan. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, and a big thank you to NordVPN for powering this video. Now, in this video, we're going to do something a little bit different to the first one, where we just debate a load of different topics. It's the big game and the context around it. Arsenal are missing some players. This is the first time in a while that Arsenal have been in a bit of a pickle injury front. Does that make Tottenham favourites? Is the question that we're throwing back to you guys. Is this now a must-win for Tottenham, especially with the situation Arsenal are in?
I think it was a must-win prior to even the injuries coming, because we'd lost the last 100. 2 years in the manner that we did as well. I feel like we had to come back this year and actually make a statement. The injuries, of course, listen, that midfield has been pretty much a lock for them, especially players like Martin Odegaard, Declan Rice as well. Been massive for them, but it does, of course, give us a little bit of confidence. But as we always say in these kind of derbies, form goes out of the window. All of this kind of expectation of, we're just going to go out there, it's never going to be that easy. And any Spurs fan knows, as soon as you start thinking you're the favourites, you ain't been supporting Spurs long enough, brother.
Facts. And I think even just the way they played last season, you look at the way they stole. Stole is a strong word, but they outsmarted or capitalized on our weaknesses last year, despite not playing their vintage performance or their vintage game. I look at that and I'm like, they did that with Odegaard being on the periphery of the game, and Declan Rice did next to nothing on the ball, but off the ball he was just shuttling, just closing off space. I see no reason why they can't find 2 people in their team to do that exact same job on Sunday. So I'm looking at the absences and I'm like, okay, fine, cool. They are your starting midfielders, fine. But what's going to hurt Tottenham is what Arsenal do with their attackers and what Arsenal do with their defenders. The midfield battle, they relinquished the midfield battle last season and they won the game. So I'm not looking into that thinking, oh my God, well, what odds on to win? I'm looking into that thinking we have to win this game irrespective of who they were going to line up in the midfield anyway. I'm looking at what we can do in their box. Can we take more of our chances? Can we turn some of our dangerous moments into more chances to actually score some goals past Arsenal? And then at our end, can we do what we need to do to make sure that they don't have an easy route to our goal? Like set pieces.
I do think that, I agree.
Set pieces
will be huge.
The transition,
especially how good they are as well.
Just defend the set piece as well. In the transitions, don't leave us outnumbered every single time. Don't leave man on an island, right? Defend with 4, 5 players. You know the team you're playing. If you do that, let the offensive football take care of itself, because when we do attack, we create chances, and I have full confidence that we have enough at our disposal to beat Arsenal with or without Declan Rice and Odegaard.
We have to do what we did essentially in the Emirates game, I feel like, is really set the tempo and kind of be aggressive in that first 20 minutes, not let you guys get into a rhythm. I imagine guys like Jorginho might come in, even if it's Zinchenko coming into midfield. we can't let those guys get any control. And I feel like that first 20, 30 minutes, that's really up to us to kind of set the tone in our home as well. So it's only right.
You did do a video on your channel, Tobes, like warning against Tottenham fans getting too excited about this.
Yeah, because I think it's dumb personally. Like, just watch the game that we played last season. We won the midfield battle last season. Or again, I'll do it in quotation marks. We won the midfield battle last season, and we didn't win the game. And it's a common theme with Spurs. Like, I can list you so many games where we've been the better side, we've played the better football, and yet we're coming away with 1 point or no points. Yeah. Why? Because we make it too easy for teams to get at us. So for me, that's one. We make it too easy for teams to get at us, and two, we don't capitalize on our dominance in games. In some games, we're either not creating enough chances to go with our dominance, or the chances we are creating, we're not sticking them away. So I want our attackers to be razor sharp. They need to be clinical, and I want our defenders to be on point, play to that line properly, communicate with each other. And I want the manager to make sure that he sets up this team well enough to not just enable our strengths, but respect the opposition. Like, respect the opposition. Yeah. Don't just leave us 2 centre-backs against four attackers, because it's not going to end well for Tottenham.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the Arsenal side of the table. What do you have to say about all that?
I'm fairly confident because of how we play in terms of these big games. We saw it last year. Arteta's not scared to be pragmatic. So change his styles, respect Spurs. I think Andrew's a lot more stubborn in his way, and so that's why I feel like we can play to their weaknesses a lot more, and Andrew will try to play their style of football, play the higher line. So what Tobes wants there, I don't see him doing that, basically. Unless he's learnt from last year and he really wants to win. I think Spurs will set up to play their style, will set up to win the game. And that's why I'm confident, especially with the injuries as well to Odegaard and Rice being suspended. I think that will push Arteta even more towards that. Okay, my players aren't available, the ones that I want right now. I have to play this style of football. And, you know, it helped Arsenal. You go back to even his first half a year, FA Cup. He played that style of football to win the FA Cup. And I think in these first few games, Villa away, you got City away, you got Spurs away now as well. Those games aren't about, showing your style of play and how great you can be and how expansive you are. It's about getting the results, getting the wins there. And so I think with how Mikel set up last year at Spurs and the fact that we've got 2 wins in a row, so the players are not going to Spurs going, this is going to be a bit hard. We ain't won it before. I'm fairly confident Mikel will find a way.
Yeah, I don't expect the Etihad job there. I think we've got just about enough to still feel confident about the game. I say just about enough. We've got 3 midfielders fit. Jorginho, Partey, make that a double pivot with Ranieri in front of them. That would be what I would do, and I think that has enough experience, enough threat between the lines. Jorginho and Partey, both on there, they can break the lines very well individually. Then you've got Ranieri, a wild card. I think we've got just about enough to still feel confident. But we are light. Do I expect there's going to be periods of that game where we are under pressure for sure. But I think we go for it. I think I'd be quite disappointed if we set up from the beginning to shut up shop, because that's giving too much respect to Tottenham. If Man City get a couple of injuries, they ain't changing the way they play against other sides like that. They might be a bit more reserved, but
it won't be changing style of play. I don't think it'll be Man City defensive. It'll be very similar to how we played against you guys last year, where it's just picking and choosing the moments. Yeah, right. We're not risking. I also feel like you lose Odegaard, and he's fantastic on the ball, but a major aspect of why he starts is off the ball. If you drop Havertz in that role, you can still do the off the ball job. So I think that will be the key thing. Can you replace those fundamentals they offer your side with Partey and Jorginho? I'm actually very excited to see how they work out. I think there's a good pivot there potentially, depending on who plays in front of them. And I think with the front three still being available,
a little bit though.
Yeah, it does. But Havertz can provide that.
Yeah,
Havertz can provide that as well.
Just coming back.
He played in the game last season, and I think we dealt with him in the first half.
Jorginho
was as well. I think the confidence I have is we've got a back four that can hold it on their own as well. So if you've got Calafiori in that game or Timber, then I'm confident they're not going to get exposed. If we had Zinchenko starting with Jorginho and Partey, I'd be worried.
I was going to say, is he not an option for midfield?
Not in midfield, no. No, in midfield.
Zinchenko, I mean, you spent most of his Arsenal career forcing him to run into midfield.
Please play him in midfield.
He's a former midfielder.
His issue is he struggled with space in the first place. So why would you put him in even more space? He's a player who's better deeper in coming into play and picking his passes out. You put him into the actual tight spaces, he'll struggle because he's not got the awareness to play on the shoulders like that. I think it's just more of like a fantasy Arsenal fans have. Oh, he can play in midfield because he can pass the ball. But it's where does he pass the ball? Does he excel the most? I don't think he'll play in midfield.
I think, and also to be fair, like I get that there's significant absences, but I think too much is being made about these injuries on Arsenal fans, on Arsenal fan sides, to the point where I'm seeing Arsenal fans saying, they're saying to Spurs fans, you're lucky we ain't got the X and X player available. These times I'm seeing Ben Davies one-on-one with Bukayo Saka last season. How easy was that? That was barbecue chicken, literally barbecue chicken. And then even heading into this game, I'm seeing Basuma injured on international duty, Van der Ven and Solanke. We don't know. I'm expecting that they're going to be fit, but we don't know if they're going to be fit. So it's not like Spurs are going into this with a clean bill of health. So the point I'm making is this: injury or no injury, we have a job to do on Sunday. Ange has a job to do on Sunday. He must do it.
But is there no more temptation now for Ange to stick to his ways? Because the high press, the energy, like the legs you have in midfield, he's probably looking at Jorginho and Partey and thinking, now more than ever, I'm going to go.
But you can. But when we say stick to his ways, though, he can stick to his ways. Like, why is asking? If you want Destiny to do the inverted thing, or if you want Pedro Porro to do the inverted thing on one side, why is asking for Destiny to, okay, you know what, maybe I'm just going to chill with Mickey van der Ven or Dragusin, whoever it is, to form a back three, or Basuma, you stay, and it's 4 there, ready for the counter-attack. Why is that compromising on his style? We're still going to be able to press high. We're still going to commit bodies forward for the attack. All it means is when the ball inevitably breaks down, because it will break down because of our attackers are not good at retaining the ball, and they don't convert our dominance into good enough moments for us in the final third in comparison to better players in the league who would have as much of the ball as they do. So the ball's going to break down. That's going to happen with our attackers. At least set yourself up so when it does break down, you're not at a disadvantage. There's not gaps in the team, and that's my problem with Spurs.
Pick your moments. Like, that's all it is. It's like there's no need to be gung-ho for 90 plus minutes of the game. And
it's naive.
Prime example of that was even like Chelsea last year when we were still down to 9 men, still going for it on a highlight. And you're looking at it like,
don't rate that, sorry.
Don't be naive and don't be stupid. And I think that's one thing I said I want to see from Spurs this season compared to last season is evolution of those small little kinks in the game. Getting caught out in transition, getting caught out with the high line. If you're going to play it for 90 minutes, cool, you better know you have Van der Ven there. You better know you have Vicario sweeping there. Corners at the near post, we were getting peppered
100%
at the back end of last season. So for me, it's those small little chinks, and those are not things I can blame players for. Those are things tactically, and as a manager, you have to look at and say,
Facts.
This is a recurring pattern. I need to tweak this, and especially in games like this where you know, okay, their midfield is a little weak. That doesn't mean be naive and go, all right, I'm going to go gung-ho for 90 minutes. No, for 20, 30 minutes, this is what I said. Come out of the blocks, suffocate them. But then, okay, now we're 1-0 up. Now we're 2-0 up. Let's control the game. And I think that's the one thing, is control the game.
100%. And the thing is, we, just my last point was like, I love Ange Postecoglou's character, like, and the offensive football is really good. Like, and I love the fact that I know that I can watch 80% of Tottenham games knowing that we're going to create chances in the game of football.
Enjoy it.
Which is not what we were used to under Conte and Jose. But to Fuad's point, the best managers in the league who are winning the trophies that Ange has spoken about wanting to win, wanting to aspire to win with Tottenham, they are able to create those dangerous situations with their teams, and they're also compact defensively. Like the best teams in the league, they make the pitch smaller for their opposition. They don't make it bigger.
Yeah.
So why are we constantly having to make the pitch so big for our opponents to literally, I'm going to drop it into that pocket, I'm going to drop it into that pocket, I'm going to drop it into this pocket. We need to see an evolution, to your point. We need to see an evolution in how Ange is actually going to set our team up, not just in possession, but out of possession.
All right, so who's winning the derby, Babs?
I'd say Arsenal still. Actually, do you know what it is, right? Is the whole injuries thing. A lot of people, as you said, a lot of Arsenal fans are saying, oh, we're in trouble. I'm actually kind of excited to see how Mikel copes with this, because if we're going to win a title, you're going to have situations like this where you're going to be in trouble, players suspended or whatever's happened like that. We've got enough players still there that can fill in different areas to go and beat Spurs. So if we go and do that, I'll be a lot more confident over the course of the season that even if Odegaard's injured and Rice is suspended, we can go to Spurs away and get a win there. I think it'd be fantastic. So I still favour Arsenal because obviously, I've seen us go there twice and win as well. I sort of think everything you've said there makes a lot of sense. I don't think Ange does that though. I think Ange will still be stubborn, and I still think he'll be pragmatic enough to go and get a result. He wants to play a style of football first, and that's why I think we'll capitalise and get a victory.
He learned for the City game.
But I think, exactly, he switched it up a little bit for the City game. And to his credit, I think we created enough to have gone ahead against you guys at our ground. So I think we have seen his style of play get a result against the better sides. The problem is, I think his style of play, will we be able to score enough goals to make up for the goals that we're going to give up? That's the problem.
What I also say is it's away from home, and we're very good away from home. In 2024, we've not lost a single game away from home. 1 draw, I think, and 9 wins. 2 goals conceded against you guys. That's about it. So
that was the last time we conceded on the road, I think.
And those goals we could have not conceded as well, by the way. So especially
Same for us, though.
So yeah, that's why the away form gives you confidence naturally. So, but I also want to see how Havertz plays, where he plays in midfield up front. If Wanyeri gets a start, there's a lot of excitement there for me because there's a lot of unknown. But with these guys, I don't know. I don't trust your manager to be as pragmatic as you guys may want him to be.
Turkish, who are the favourites?
Favourites, us. Yeah, it's got to be us, man.
Yeah, it's us.
Like injuries shouldn't be an excuse. They've got injuries themselves. I know ours is unfortunate all in one area, but that can also be somewhat. I won't say a blessing, but it's, all in one area. We've still got our attackers there. We've still got our defensive unit there. We're miles clear in that sense when you're looking at year on year, 12 months. So I still think we're the favourites. I'm more quietly confident about it now than I was on Monday with a red flare outside White Hart Lane.
Yeah, that was brave. Tobes, who are the favourites and who's going to win for you?
I mean, typically in this type of game, the home side's always the favourite, but I would say it's probably even. But for me, I'm going to go with Tottenham. I think we got enough to beat Arsenal. Felt that before the injuries. Still feel that today, even with the worry of what we can give up defensively. So I'm going to go for us to win. I think we'll win the game. I think we'll score either 2 or 3 goals, and we'll concede at least 1 goal. So I'm going to go 3-2 win to Tottenham.
Yeah, I'll go 2-1. I think we have to be the favourites essentially at home. Arsenal have injuries. I think we're coming into this game with a point to prove. 2 home losses previously. So for me, this is a real tone setter for our season, in my opinion, in terms of what Ange wants to do this season, evolve from last year, really close that gap between them. How you do that is in games like this where we've thrown it away last year.
100.
Show me
you
something.
See the tone setting. It's important for us too. He used the word exciting. I'm more nervous about the same thing.
Intrigued more than
intrigued
yeah,
is probably the right balance to it, because the common consensus is we've left ourselves light. The next week will tell us whether that is a fact or whether that is just us panicking or me panicking.
Yeah.
It will tell
There's
us.
a reason to panic. We've seen it blow up in the past. That's why the panic is still there. So, but if we can change that now and show that we're able to adapt, so like how they want to see the pragmatism on their side, we want to see if we can adapt, because we've seen us in the past go to Spurs away with injuries like Saliba and Cole, whatever, and we've lost with holding at the back. So if we can change that now, move players around, we'll see how close we are to a title. And also going for the Champions League as well, because we're going to need that.
Yeah,
Arteta's track record of rotating isn't good.
It isn't good.
That's the one thing I'll say. Like when it's gone into the cups and we've rotated, or we've had a couple key players missing, like the levels have dropped significantly.
I'm not seeing Fabio Vieira starting this game, or Smith Rowe, players that will be on the fringes. Players that will start now have started for Arsenal, Jorginho and Havertz or whoever like that. Wanyeri is the only one that hasn't, and that's why I'm a bit more confident in the players to get it done.
Okay, fair enough. And we didn't get score predictions from you two to round it up. What are you going for?
3-1.
I'll say 2-1.
Okay, you went for a
2-1.
Okay, so everyone back in their sides. Let us know in the comment section below what your score predictions are for the game. Of course, subscribe to AFTV so we can keep you up to date with everything from fan cams after the game.
Toes, move to your right a bit, please. Your elbow's in the shot.
Bro, my elbow's gonna.
He's got big
shoulders. My elbow's gonna nudge your gut on Sunday, bro. That's what my elbow's gonna do, bro.
Hey, no kill me.
And of course, everyone go subscribe to the amazing panel. Fuad, obviously, on FCM, SDS, and Fuad Kadani's channel. Tap in Toes, you can also find on the Big Six. Big Six, Turkish LDN, sneaking an elbow.
Turkish IRE, bro. Turkish
IRE, WG, TUR, yeah, all of that. CYP. I'll take all of it.
And Babs 14. Everyone, a big thanks for joining us. If you missed part 1, go check it out. We debated a lot of stuff there as well. But otherwise, we'll see you after the derby in a bit.
Can't handle it. Told him one more time. Gang, get all that. Can't handle it. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that. Told him one more time. Gang, get all that.